A consortium comprising the Heritage Institute for Policy Studies and the City University of Mogadishu, with the support of academics, researchers, and consultants, undertook a multi-sector human capital development baseline study for Somalia with a special focus on health, labor, education, fisheries, livestock, and agriculture sectors. The primary purpose of the study was to produce a comprehensive human capital development strategy for Somalia. The study specifically looked at how a skilled and healthy population could emerge as a catalyst for harnessing the country's abundant natural resources for more sustainable development. The Somali Agriculture Technology Group, SATG, which is the leading institution for research and development of new agriculture technologies, and which is headed by an eminent scientist, Dr. Hussein Haji, carried out a pioneering baseline study along with Dr. Shirdon for agriculture, livestock, and fisheries sector, covering existing agriculture and livestock skills development, knowledge value chain, and the skill needs to reach its potential. A workshop to discuss the strategies and roadmap for the human capacity development and identification of priority areas for intervention was held in Mogadishu on 14th and 15th August 2023. This workshop was led by Dr. Raj Dravid along with Dr. Hussein and his team from SATG. The moderation of the workshop was carried out by Dr. Richard Jones, the board chair of SATG, and Dr. Paul Porter, distinguished emeritus professor in crop sciences from the University of Minnesota and also a board member of SATG. The workshop was attended by government officials, private sector, and agriculture experts. A lively interaction followed in the workshop, and several important, critical, valuable suggestions were made. In this podcast, I would like to share the major observations and recommendations. What were these observations? Nearly half of Somali population cannot read or write. The illiteracy has an adverse impact on the human capacity development of the country. The technical and vocational training system, TVET, is highly fragmented. The state of higher education fares no better. Most universities lack the capacity for research, and most graduates do not possess the requisite technical understanding. We all know that agriculture remains key to Somalia's economic growth and poverty reduction. And therefore, it goes without saying that poor skills and low infrastructure holds back agriculture development. Strong performance in livestock exports contrasts with weak performance in livestock products. Performance of the crops and fisheries subsector is weak, but the growth potential is very high. A revival and modernization of agriculture, including gradual mechanization, presents opportunities for youth employment and income generation along the agriculture value chain, from input supply and primary production to distribution and marketing, as well as agro-processing. And for this to happen, the youth needs systematic exposure to technical and vocational training. Presently, in Somalia, the vocational training efforts are primarily supported by international organizations and private investments, private institutions. What's needed, and this came out of the workshop, what is needed is the government involvement via public-private partnership, PPP mode. Public-private partnership allows for an increase in efficiency and effectiveness through the resources that the government is providing along with the expertise of the private sector to improve the overall skilling infrastructure. Two important suggestions that emerged in the workshop were to to set up a national body for skill development and entrepreneurship under the Higher Education Commission in the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and design short term. What is short term? 240 hours, which is 1 month, 8 hours per day, into 30 days, 240 hours of courses for vocational education. Another important suggestion that came was to create a sector skills council for the agriculture sector. The council should work ideally towards capacity building by bridging gaps and upgrading skills of farmers, wage workers, self-employed and extension workers engaged in organized and unorganized segments of agriculture. There was a very interesting discussion about creating a group of village-based advisors or village level entrepreneurs, VLEs. One way to tackle the problem of unemployment of rural youth is the nurturing of the concept of village-based entrepreneurs or village-based advisors. This concept has been successfully implemented in many African countries. VBAs are local youth who are trained and equipped to provide extension services to farmers in their communities. These advisors and entrepreneurs play a crucial role in improving agricultural productivity by providing the last mile connect, increasing crop yields, and promoting sustainable farming practices. In the context of Somalia, where agriculture is the key sector and unemployment is a major challenge, village-based advisors can be an effective means of creating employment opportunities while also improving food security and rural livelihoods. There was also discussion on the use of call centers in the agriculture sector, as call centers can bring several benefits to farmers in Somalia, particularly in terms of avoiding middlemen and getting better prices for their produce. The universities and colleges should have innovation and incubation hubs, which are in the production zones, and professors and research staff should be encouraged to carry out field experiments. This was a very important suggestion, as this will go a very long way in nurturing the spirit of research in the areas of climate smart agriculture, newer varieties of drought tolerant seeds, drip irrigation technology, crop diversification, just to name a few. Integrated production system is the way forward, leveraging the complex interlinkages between crop agriculture and peri-urban rearing systems. Many opportunities in processing, value addition, and diversification, including setting up of micro enterprises, can be pursued in peri-urban setting where employment potential is greatest. Animal disaster risk management is extremely critical, and communities need to be educated on veterinary health care management. The suggestion came that we strongly recommend that graduate students pursuing agriculture courses in colleges and universities must be educated on livestock health management. There is ample evidence to prove that the fisheries sector has enormous potential to provide employment as well as growth in the GDP. The domestic as well as the export potential is very high. The government needs to invest in setting up cold chains to preserve the catch and ensure that its territorial limits are well protected, which is not today, from unauthorized fishing trawlers, apart from making the coastline safe. The main focus of federal government of Somalia and federal member states ought to be on framing policies that will encourage acquisition of the right skills, generate employment opportunities for the youth, and create a regulatory overarching framework that will ensure food security at all times. Climate smart agriculture, including livestock and fisheries, and a vibrant and optimistic youth power are the major gateways to accomplish these goals. In conclusion, I would suggest that inclusive resilience strategies in Somalia marks a pivotal departure from the past. forging a path towards more inclusive, equitable, and resilient society. By empowering marginalized populations, engaging the rural youth, and focusing on education, Somalia must invest in its human capital, the most valuable asset for sustained development. And through these strategies, the nation will not only enhance its capacity to overcome challenges, but also will lay the foundation for a prosperous and harmonious future. As Somalia tries to implement and refine these strategies, it is poised to become, and I'm very sure, a shining example of how inclusive resilience in agriculture can drive human capacity development in a very challenging and complex environment. Thank you very much.